What's going on? I want to talk about LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. These are two of the most vilified athletes in modern history. Now, the reason I want to talk about them is because I'm being forced to defend them. You know, first I start with LeBron. I'm watching this year's NBA Eastern Conference Final. Matter of fact, the entire season. LeBron is by far leaps and bounds the best player in the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. This guy can do it all. Does he have some shortcomings in his game? Of course he does. I'm a big believer in, if you are a volume shooter, I think that you should. If I was a head coach or general manager, if you were a volume shooter on my team, you will average anywhere from 75 to 80% on that free throw line, because volume shooters spend a lot of time at the free throw line, and that is probably his biggest flaw. That and his shot selection to me is bad because of the simple fact LeBron is a slightly below average. Anything outside of 15 feet, LeBron is slightly below average. He is by far the best penetrator, with the size and the height. And he does not fully reap the benefit of his physical stature on the offensive end. I mean, what the hell else does everybody want from him? Do you want? I mean, he's a good defender. He's not a great defender. I always think that when you are like the best player on your team and you can play some defense, they always kind of over-exaggerate you being a great defender. He's not a great defender. He's a good man-on-man defender. Now, I will say he's probably in my top 5 as far as help defenders. And if you understand the game of basketball, you know exactly what I mean by man-to-man defender and help defender. There's a difference. But overall, he's a good defender. He's a phenomenal scorer. He doesn't take advantage of his physical stature. If I was him, I would penetrate to that hole every time. He needs to work on his free throws. This kid has the best court vision I've ever seen on any player. He's not the best passer I've ever seen. I think Magic Johnson is by far the best passer I've ever seen. But LeBron can see a court like nobody else can. Always have, even his rookie year. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this because I'm saying a lot of positive things about him. LeBron and Kobe never had to deal with, they have to deal with Twitter, Facebook, other social media outlets. They have to deal with, a couple of makeshift sports, analogies and things of that nature that comes from a common person such as myself. So I'm not even, knocking. I'm not saying it like I'm a pro, but I tell you, I know I can read sports. I'm one of the best people that you would meet when it comes to sports. I know it all. I know damn near everything there is to know. I don't know why I know all this stuff, but I do. So it's asinine to me that he gets the criticism that he gets. Let's look at Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade hasn't done a damn thing in this series. He has not played up to the level of what he should be. I don't know if Dwayne Wade is hurt. In my personal opinion, he probably has some nagging injuries. I've always said for the past 2 years, Dwayne Wade looks very heavy. He doesn't look like he has the same amount of lift. He doesn't look like he has the same amount of concentration or passion for the game. And Dwayne Wade will forever get a pass in Miami just because of the simple fact he won a championship there. He's probably the most popular athlete in Miami history. I'm sure he's more popular than Dan Marino. There's probably a struggle, 1 and 2 between those two. And I understand the city of Miami giving him a pass. I mean, that's just like the Braves get a pass for, and I live in Atlanta. The Braves get a pass for winning a championship in 95 when the Braves, at times have sucked ass after 95. Chipper Jones has gotten a pass because he was on that championship team, and there have been years when I'm like, my God, can we fucking sit him? But Chipper is an all-time great. He's one of the best third basemen to ever play the game, one of the best switch hitters to ever play the game. But I mean, he's had bad years. So it's just completely asinine to me, the criticism that LeBron James receives And it's asinine to me that Dwayne Wade, he gets little jabs thrown at him, but he's safeguarded. And this is from a national perspective. I can understand totally in Miami. He's a god there. I understand. I don't know why people dislike LeBron. I've never met LeBron. He seems like a big ass kid. But he seems like he takes the game very seriously to a certain extent, because if he took it seriously, I think his free throw percentage would be a lot better than what it is. And when you're a volume shooter, man, that's what it's all about, is free throws. Allen Iverson would shoot a gazillion times and average 35%, in the field. His field goal percentage is at 35%. But he leads the league in scoring, and you wonder why? Because he takes his ass to that line, and he's a 75 to 80% free throw shooter. That's what it's all about. Okay, that leads me to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is probably the biggest. He seems like the biggest douchebag you could ever meet. I never met Kobe Bryant personally. He seems very smug. He seems very sarcastic, or sometimes his vibe is, hey, I'm Kobe. He does seem that way. But I love this guy's passion for the game. I'm not Vanessa Bryant. I ain't got shit to do with him cheating on his wife, or ratting on Shaquille O'Neal, or whatever he did. I'm talking about the product on the field or on the court. This man is by far the second best shooting guard to ever play this game. Michael Jordan, let me tell you something. There's a big gap between number one, which is Michael Jordan, and number two, which is Kobe Bryant. But damn it, Kobe Bryant is number two. It's just hands down. And he takes an ass whooping, on social outlets. He really does. He takes an ass whooping at times in the media. Kobe Bryant has got to be one of the most hated athletes I've ever seen. But when you go west of the Mississippi, he's beloved. And that's because you're heading out west. I mean, this kid is from Philadelphia. Kobe Bryant exudes everything that people from Philadelphia stand for. He's tough. He's ornery. He's a jackass. This is what Philly people are about. They're tough. They can get with you, Look at the Philly fans. They fucking booed Santa Claus. I remember when Michael Irvin got hurt, the Philadelphia Eagle fans, they cheered because his ass got knocked out of the game. They probably wouldn't have cheered. They knew they cheered when the stretcher took his ass out. That's what people in Philadelphia are all about. But by him being from Philadelphia, he lived in other places, but that's where he became Kobe at, in Philly. It's like he's not even welcomed in Philly, and I don't get it. I don't judge people outside of the game. People always say, oh, well, Kobe shoot too damn much. He shoots just as much as Michael Jordan did. Just as much. And I'm going to tell you a big secret about Michael Jordan. People always say, oh, the light bulb went off in Michael Jordan's head in year 7. That's why they won the championship. No, the fuck it isn't. The front office was smart enough to say, hey, we need to build this damn team around Michael. People like Charles Oakley wants to take 10 to 12 shots a game. People like, who else was on those teams with him? Craig Hodges had started shooting a lot too. They moved these guys around just so Michael can be Michael. It wasn't like Michael just totally changed his game. They just moved pieces around and moved the correct personnel around Michael. And Michael said, give me the people and get the hell out of my way. And that's exactly what he did. He's still the greatest basketball player I've ever seen. But that's just, people make it sound like it's just like this big thing. Oh my God, Michael, the light bulb went off and he became the best. No, he became the same guy he's always been, a volume shooter that can play some tenacious defense. He was a decent passer, solid rebounder. And truth be told, Kobe Bryant's a better three-point shooter than Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan was just smart enough to understand the limitations of his game. He knew he couldn't be out there jacking up a bunch of threes unless he was hot. like he was against Portland in 1992. You know, these are the things that people have to realize, man. You know, I'm not just trying to cry, and I know I'm probably gonna get a bunch of negative comments and shut the fuck up and you don't know what you're talking about, but believe me, I do. I know sports. If I don't know anything else, I fucking know sports. And you guys are giving Kobe and LeBron such a hard fucking time. It's a game. LeBron is by far the best player in the NBA. He's won 3 MVPs and he earned every single one of them. And that, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. But you know, social media has really killed a lot of the athletes because it gives the common man, such as myself or anyone else, the platform to be just the same platform as O.C. Umenyiora or, you know, or as Kevin Durant. I'm just naming random athletes. These are people we can interact with. You know, I've seen where people would tweet CM Punk, the wrestler, one of my favorite. He is by far my favorite wrestler. I've seen where people would tweet CM Punk and he'll answer right back. You know, how cool is that? You couldn't do that, and you couldn't do that back in the day. How would you gonna get in touch with Michael Jordan? You fucking couldn't. But you know, if someone like CM Punk don't respond, you know, because he's fucking busy, you know, or doing something that he has to do just because he's a wrestler, doesn't mean that he has to be sitting at Twitter right up until his match or something. He has a life. He has bills he has to pay. He, you know, has a family and things of that nature. But if he don't answer back, you get mad and say, oh, fuck CM Punk and stuff like that. And that's not right. You know. I know that may seem way off base that I, you know, threw CM Punk in there. But it was just, you know, wrestlers have always been very approachable. Every time I ever met a wrestler, I never met CM Punk personally, but other wrestlers that I've met, they've always been very approachable. Always. And except for the Iron Sheik, because he looked like he was angry as a motherfucker, but he spoke. But he looked like he was going to whoop my ass when I met him. But, you know, I think basketball players, probably because they know their money is more set in stone as opposed to a wrestler. Maybe they're not as approachable. I don't know, but these guys get so much flack. Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, and it's so unnecessary. It's a fucking game, and that they're both really good at. And I'm done, man. I just had to get that off my chest.